Hi, thanks for joining us today on Bankruptcy Rocks TV. I'm Michael Russo, your host. Today we're very privileged to be speaking with Clive Wallace, Managing Director and founder of Wallcan. This particular gentleman has a tremendous amount of experience in what we'll be talking to you about today. And there's so much of it here, I'd just like to read a little bit of it and give you some idea of his background. Now, he got his academic qualifications as a mechanical engineer. He also holds a master's in business. He worked for Castrol for 17 years as a divisional manager, where his main role was actually to start, or on behalf of Castrol, help them begin new business ventures for that company. He then was headhunted to a company called Laporte, which is a British-based multinational who specialised in building chemical construction products. They were a manufacturing company as well, and he operated there for some time as a general manager. And so he has a tremendous amount of experience to share with us, and we look forward to hearing from Clive today from Wallcan. Thanks for joining us. Well, Clive, thanks for joining us today. We went through quite a long list of credits there for you, and I didn't talk too much about your particular business that you decided to get into. Why don't you tell us about that now?
Sure. Wallcan's a business that does things a little bit differently. What we do on the surface is help people sell their products and services, but underneath, the machine that makes that work so effectively, particularly leveraging online, is what makes the difference.
Okay, wonderful. So tell me, how did you end up getting started there? You've had a lot of history in the corporate world. Just tell us your story. How did you end up where you are now?
Well, Wallcan was a hobby. I was full-time employed. I was working on a special contract with Penrise. And during that time I thought, well, there's a lot that we can do with the internet, but we don't know what we don't know. So I started what was essentially a hobby. And when the hobby started to go out of control, I talked to a web developer, Melissa Canning, into running with the ideas I had. So I basically said, stop being a web developer and now start being a marketer. And that was the genesis of Wallcan, and Wallcan just grew from there. Unfortunately, at the time, I was still tied up in, I had 18 months of my contract still to go. So I was running Wallcan from 10 o'clock at night till 4 o'clock in the morning, getting up and going to work at Penrise. So it was a struggle for a beginning, but very exciting.
All right, so just tell me a little bit more about how you got started with the Wallcan. I mean, it must be quite difficult to go from, you know, managing tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars worth of budget, and then having to start in your own business where you don't have those kinds of budgets. Just tell us a little bit about that experience.
The hardest thing was learning to stop so I could go and make a cup of tea, because I was so used to having people that did that for me. So essentially you learn to do everything. And that was a huge, huge shift. After 25 years in last 15 of that is in general management roles, to actually not just create something new, but to actually put it together and deliver it was a big challenge.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So just tell us a little bit about the concept. How does it work?
Well, what we do is we build a platform that you can sell and promote your existing business. If it's a traditional business with physical premises, it just automates a lot of the things that you would manually do in the day-to-day work. But in addition to that, we integrate the online service so that we can promote products into new markets, much faster, with far less cost, and in fact automate a lot of the logistics to do the service delivery.
Okay, so let me understand this. Now, when we were talking earlier, you mentioned to me about the whole concept behind starting Wallcan was to actually help business leaders move from the industrial area to the knowledge-based area. In other words, utilising new technology to move their business forward. Just explain that for us.
Well, it's a transition. Most of us, and one of the things I tackled, and one of the success features of what I did with in the corporate world was to help people through a mind shift. Very often, people get trapped into repeating what they've done year after year. And they think that they're actually developing in a business when in fact all they're doing is simply repeating what's gone before. So you look at the market and you look at solutions. It's creating solutions in a game-changing way that wins you big growth, that wins you profit. If all you do is sit there and copy, then you're going to struggle, particularly today.